All right, welcome back to another. We're back into No Man's Skies today, and we're going to be talking about our capital ship and our frigates, as you can see in the right and left of us here. And our capital ship is this massive ship below me, as you saw in the little preview before. Let's jump into it. So right off the bat, you have your, as you can see here, this is our starship bay. All your starships you own will be in this location here. As you can see here, we have our fighter here. And then if I go the other side here, I actually just bought this big ship here because I like the wings and I want to use those for a future build. They look really cool. So that was a fun little buy. Sometimes if you do not have this entire place filled, you will have random NPCs come in and land, and you can actually offer to trade with them or buy ships from them, whatever you want to do. As you can see over here, we have our mining starship here, we have our bubble ship here, and then we have our exotic here. So this is where you'll find all your ships in this area. It's pretty neat, and as you enter into the vehicle bay or the starship bay, you have two ways to get into your actual capital ship. You can head up these stairs and it'll bring you to a hallway and they'll bring you to the command post, or you can go up this teleporter, which is a very nice change if you're someone who doesn't want to waste too much time. So as you come through the teleporter, you are at Man Center. You have your pilot here and you have your mission giver here. This panel is going to be a very important piece to your capital ship. So you can go to Manage Fleet, you can go to Radar Warp Map, go over to Customization and Upgrades. And then over here, you can talk to this guy here and send your frigates out on missions, which we'll talk about in a moment here. So first off, we're going to talk about the managing your fleet. You can actually go through and manage all the ships you have. As you can see here, I have quite a few. As you can also see, they all have different tiers. I have some pretty high level ones here, some pretty decent level ones here, and then some more basic ones. These are all very important. Your frigates will have combat, exploration, industrial, support. You'll also have trade, and those are the main roles that these frigates have. Whenever I send my units on missions, which we're going to talk to with this guy here, he will give you a bunch of missions you could send your frigates out onto. So for instance, something like a Voyage of Discovery, I would send out a support unit. I'd probably send out a combat unit as well, and then I would send out multiple exploration depending on the level that it is. So as you can see here, you can see this difficulty rating here is 3, so you definitely want to try and get that exact thing or go just above it. I mean, I guess you could go lower if you want to, but your chances of failing an expedition could be higher. You can fail, so I would just over prepare and just make sure you can complete the mission so you can get your rewards. And as you can see here, there's all different types here. This is not all of them. There's Balance Expedition, which is going to be mainly using all your ships, combat, support, trader, industrial, exploration, all that stuff. Combat is going to be obviously very based around combat. So you want to send out your combat ships, but what you also want to do is send out your support units. Support units will be very helpful in general, keeping your guys alive in the actual expedition. But definitely send out more of that. So I would send at least a high-level combat and also maybe a couple low-level, depending again on the stars or the actual difficulty rating. I would send multiple combat ships to that location and maybe multiple support ships depending on what you have. Support ships can be used for, I don't know if I have any right now. Not. So there will be some supply ships that are going to be based around fuel, which will decrease the amount of fuel you need to use to send your units out. Super helpful. You'll have some here with a mobile supply platform. I don't know the exact reasons for the difference, but I'm assuming it's going to be based around like keeping your team, I guess, supplied in combat. I don't really know if it makes a big difference, but just keeping those supporters with you is huge. It's definitely a fun mechanic to have in this game. And once they actually come back from the missions, which those are based around real time, so you know, some will be 7 hours, some will be 24, some will be 12. I'm sure they can get worse, like 72. I'm sure is another one. But what will happen is when your teams complete their missions, you'll have these little command posts, which depending on how many frigates you have, you'll have to keep increasing these. I currently have what I need. So as they come back, you can go over here and you will talk to the commander of that fleet. As you can see here, I can look at what we have here. So this is my exploration. So I have 2 explorations, a support and a combat. The combat's just in case they run into pirates. Your fleets can run into pirates, so you want to be careful with that. Sometimes when you're flying around just playing the game, you'll get an emergency broadcast to your ship, and it'll be actually one of your frigates that are reaching out for help, and you can fly over to that system and help take out the pirates attacking your team, which is like kind of a cool mechanic, and actually help your team out, which I think is awesome. You can see here, I can go ahead and you'll see the ones that are active, like these 2 are active. I believe I have one more over here that's active. Yeah, this one here. So I can leave this one here. This looks like my combat one. Let's check it real quick. So as you can see here, this is my combat. I sent out 2 S-classes, 1 combat, 1 support. I also sent out an additional 2 combat-based ships. My fleet rating is insanely high. This is only level 3. They have 6 hours left. So they're going to come back. And when they come back, after they complete their expedition, you'll actually get rewarded a bunch of, money, items, and then you can go and sell those items or use them for your own builds and stuff like that. So it's kind of a fun, kind of like a passive way to make money. You also have the ability to upgrade your capital ship in multiple ways. You can add additional slots. So as you can see over here, if I go to tab and go to my freighter or my capital ship, I can actually increase more slots, so I can put more things down. You can get mods for your fleet to help decrease, fuel cost and warp costs and stuff like that. I think they also can help with doing missions and things like that. So it's pretty cool. I don't have any of that stuff currently. I haven't really gone into that too far, but I do want to eventually. The other thing you do too, there are certain items you can get. So as you can see here, I only have. You do need to get salvage frigate modules, and those will help with certain things. So you can get upgrades for your actual fleet. These items here are actually going to be used for your frigates who are out on missions. So all these items will mainly be boost to your actual team when they're on missions. You also have the ability, you can fully customize your, well, not fully, I shouldn't say, you can customize the coloring of your capital ship. So for instance, I am rocking a white, black, and red. One thing I have noticed, you cannot change the top portion there, which is kind of weird, but you can't. You also, if you have them unlocked, you can actually change engine colors. So currently, I love green, so this is definitely my color that I'm rocking. And this is kind of a neat little thing. You can do that and kind of make your own thing. The other thing you can do as well, your fleet is pretty much a mobile base. So what you could do is you can fully customize your capital ship. You can put any kind of cool items down to make it like decoration, to make it look cooler. You can put down lights and stuff like that. You can put down, these things here, stickers. This is how you actually expand your ship, so you can put more things down or just make your ship bigger. Like this freighter junction right now, I have that over here. And this allows me to set up, I don't have to do this, but I wanted to make it look kind of somewhat neat. This is currently a short-range teleporter, so this will lead me to my storage room and my actual refiner room. So you can see here, you can have all your storage rooms on the ship itself, and you can continuously upgrade and use your refiners as much as you want. There is other items you can do as well. You have your construction, you have your fleet command rooms, which is going to be the one where your commanders will talk to you, and that's how you get your items. You do have a galactic trade room, which is pretty cool. You can sell stuff from your ship. You also can put down doors and stuff like that. I can see that door over there is closed now. I also have that one closed as well. So let's go for the teleporter. And this leads to my actual storage, market, and refiner room. I haven't really dove deep into really customizing this and making it look really cool, but I want to eventually. Over here is my actual refiner room. And this is one thing I wanted to discuss. When you are actually sending your units out on missions, they will require fuel. And to make the fuel, you need the hydrogen and tritanium, which is kind of what we were using with our mining ship we made before. I'm actually going to do this real quick, which is the reason why we made our mining ship. I wanted to be able to get tritanium, which comes from asteroids out in space. You also can buy it some places, so that's why I have that. Dihydrogen's a little different. You can't find that randomly, really. It's actually on planet surfaces, but there is ways to actually duplicate it. Using the systems in the game. So one thing I've been doing with dihydrogen is I've been making these jellies, and as you can see here, it's 30-to-1. So if you were to make this dihydrogen jelly straight from your inventory, it would make you spend 40 dihydrogen to make 1. Using a refiner, you don't use that 40, you use 30. So what's happening is you take the 600, it's going to make 20 dihydrogen jellies, and then you take the 20 dihydrogen jellies once it's done, and again, it takes time, so we're going to actually start this now. Once you make this dihydrogen jelly, you can take that and put it back into the system, and what will happen is you'll get additional 10 per every 30. So it's a good way to kind of passively double your dihydrogen to some degree. You can easily get a bunch on the ground, like if you're actually on a planet side, you can get a lot more. I would recommend doing that first, and then building up a decent amount, and then doing that, because it takes a lot of time, especially for someone like me who I don't play this constantly, so I'm not always able to completely run that through. And I'm setting my fleets out quite a bit whenever I get a chance, so I'm ripping through fuel a lot. So that's one way you can actually keep having your dihydrogen up higher. And the reason for us doing that is because we want to make that fuel, so we can keep sending our frigates out on missions so we can make money off it. So if you're someone who does not have a capital ship yet, generally you won't see one till later on in the game. So as you jump with your normal ship, your actual starship, as you jump each system, you'll have a chance to have an event happen where you will show up to a certain galaxy and you'll see a freighter or capital ship that's under attack by pirates. And I think generally it's going to be like 6 pirates. So what you want to do is you want to, and this is if you don't have a capital ship yet. What you want to do is actually help, if you want a capital ship, you want to help take out the pirates in that mission. And once you do that, what will happen is the actual commander or admiral of the capital ship broadcasts to your ship, and they'll ask you to come aboard so you can get a reward. So you can either ask for money, or if it's the first time, you'll get to claim that frigate for free. So that's an easy way to do it. It does happen later on once you're jumping from system to system. It's not guaranteed. I don't know the metrics on how many times you have to jump to actually get it, but that is how you get your own capital ship. And again, it's a pretty cool system. And obviously with your capital ship, there is different classes of them or different tiers. So for instance, my capital ship is a B class, but I can go up to S if I want to, and I haven't found one yet. They're kind of hard to find. But I will say, my capital ship is massive. This is definitely one of the bigger ones for sure. But it's pretty cool. It's a fun little mechanic in this game to have. It's like an extra level of, there's a little bit of micromanaging with it, but it's kind of a cool system to have. It's almost like passive income to some degree. And if you don't want to make a base on ground, you can just do it in your ship and then you're good to go. So it's pretty cool, and you can easily, obviously my fleet's here, but if you're in a different area, you can summon your frigate to you. The other thing we didn't quite talk about is squadrons. If you actually want to, you can get other pilots to fly with you, which are going to be NPCs, but they'll have their own ships. You can manage that in the management system of the command post in the actual capital ship, so it's pretty cool. I just wanted to go over this real quick and kind of explain why we made a mining ship. I like sending my guys out for missions so I can keep making money off them, because I can make 5 mil pretty easy. Normally you do wait, but it's like passive income really, which is awesome. We'd love to see that. And you can always go around, when you jump around different systems, you'll have random capital ships pop up, and you can fly into them and ask to buy from them. And again, if you already have your own capital ship and you run into that event where a capital ship's under attack by pirates and you take out the pirates, you can actually go in there and ask for money as a reward, or you can actually purchase their ship. One thing I will say, if you do find a capital ship and you have one already, when you switch, make sure all your items are out of the cargo bay of your own capital ship before you buy a new one, because what will happen if you exchange your capital ship for the new one, you'll lose everything in this inventory. So if you have a lot of fuel, that's going to kind of suck. So something to definitely keep in mind when it comes to capital ships. It's pretty cool. I wanted to show this real quick and just kind of talk about it. I just got this big one here not too long ago, and I'm pretty stoked about it. Another cool thing too, if you're playing with your friends and you're at their base, you can call in your fleet and you'll actually see the fleet in the air above like wherever your friend's base is or wherever you are. So it's really cool. You can just call them right into that orbit. It's really, really neat. Another thing I wanted to note too, if you go to the anomaly, which I'm going to show real quick, you can actually take on the Nexus missions, which are going to be part of the multiplayer. I'm playing no multiplayer right now. This is my own private thing. But I can fly into here. And if I go over to the big eyeball, I think it's called the Nexus, this NPC here will actually give you missions. Sometimes you have a mission where it says attack pirate fleet or whatever, and it'll give you, like maybe a reactor core for something and a bunch of money. And sometimes what will happen is when you actually go and engage that pirate fleet or the pirate ships, sometimes one of your combat frigates will come into play and actually help you fight the pirates. Which is a really cool system that I just did it one day because I have more builds I want to do for the shipbuilding, and it gave me a core. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. I don't have to go and spend a bunch of nanites for a core. I can use the mission system here in the anomaly and get them for free, pretty much, by just doing a task. But it was kind of cool. I went in and took on those pirates, and one of my combat frigates came in and helped me. And it was really neat. The combat frigates will come in and they'll actually shoot the targets, and they'll actually have their own squadrons fly out and help you. It was really a neat thing. So I definitely recommend going for it. If you can get a frigate freighter, definitely do it, because it's a really cool system to have. And I mean, come on, who doesn't want a giant capital ship to their own, you know? So hope this is helpful. Hope this is kind of enjoyable. We've got to show it off a little bit. And I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.